Hello, welcome to Drive Thru. I'm your host, Tony T, as we broadcast live here on Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place YouTube channel and throughout social media. We're going to get you out here well before the top of the hour. Give you guys enough time to get those bets in for the primetime games. And that's what we do here on the Drive Thru Monday through Friday here at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. It's our live free sports picks with the games beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and later. And to deliver those winners, our professional handicappers over at Pick Dogs and at Sports Chat Place. Let's take a peek at who's on the show with us for today. All right, Javon will be signing in momentarily. Brian Biller with us. Nick Menken. Got James Clark. He's finally bought into the Big 12. And, of course, we've got Jay Briggs. And here's how they'll line up for this evening. We've got on the lineup for tonight Briggs, Burtz, Bittler, Clark, Menken, and I will close this one out. All right, we've got baseball on the board, full board of baseball here as we wind down here the regular season. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, just 3 days left here. Still a lot on the line here as teams try to position themselves for that AL West title. Wild cards in both leagues. Announced some pitching changes. Looks like it will be for the Astros tonight. It looks like Jose Urquidy will get the start. So that's the one change right now that we see in the starters in tonight's ball game. So keep an eye there. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get the show underway. We'll start off with Jay Briggs. You'll catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Of course, you catch his NFL show here on the channel as well. We'll bring him in ready to roll here with Jay. Jay, what's happening?
Tony T, what's happening?
Things going great. All right, here we go tonight. This is important baseball tonight. Not for the Rays, but for the Blue Jays. Blue Jays got work to do here. They're hosting the Rays with minus 125, total of 8.
Yeah, the Blue Jays, they're not quite out of the woods yet. In good positioning, but you know they can definitely help their cause by getting a win here today, and I think they get it behind what I think has been probably their best pitcher this year, and Yusei Kikuchi. He's at home. Savale is a guy I usually like to target in this Rays rotation. And I think that the Blue Jays just take this game seriously and get this one done at home. I think when you're fading the Rays, typically the best place to fade them is out on the road. They, like you said, they no longer have anything to play for with Baltimore locking it up last night. So I just see two different teams playing for two different things tonight, and I think the Blue Jays take a little more seriously and get this one done at a good price. So I'm going to take Toronto money line at home.
All right, we got Jay going here on the Blue Jays here, minus 127, minus 125. Do line shopping here with Kikuchi here in this spot. The Rays, the Rays pretty much locked into their position. Once Baltimore won that, the AL West, Rays just kind of playing it out. And we'll see how they go with their pitching job because remember, McClanahan got hurt. They lost a couple of frontline starters early in the season.
Yeah, they did. So it's going to be interesting. I think the AL is more open than the National League. I think it just depends on who gets hot at the right time in the American League. Of course, the favorite right now is Baltimore, but we'll see, man. I think there's a few teams in there that can make some noise. So we still got to see who gets in because Astros could be on the outside looking out, Mariners as well, but both of those teams could be teams to make runs in the American League. So it's going to be fun to watch coming down the stretch here in baseball.
Yeah, I know Jay went negative on everyone but the Rangers. The Rangers there, that was heartbreaking there. That had playoff atmosphere. I liked the under in that game yesterday, and it felt like a playoff game.
Yeah, definitely, man. And Chapman walks out on the mound, and you just kind of get the feeling, you know. That's the Rangers' one weakness. That is their one weakness. We are last in Major League Baseball in saves this year. If the offense doesn't do enough work early, the other team is almost never out of it with how this Rangers bullpen has been playing. They're not out of the woods either. I think they lock up a playoff berth tonight, though, and we'll see if they can get the division.
I think you got some help there coming from Gallen in Arizona. Interesting match at Arizona and Houston. You would never thought there'd be a lot on the line. That's definitely two contenders going head-to-head there tonight in Arizona. We're talking about that a little later. But I know, Jay, we like to look at some of the college football games in Texas, from Texas here on Friday. We see your Kansas and Texas. We've seen that line come down now, 15.5 for the Longhorns.
That's a very interesting game. Texas is one of the 5 best teams in the country, but we're getting into that Big 12 territory where Kansas, they're not that bad. They're undefeated for a reason, and I like Texas to win the game, to keep winning, but I'm just nervous and want to lay points with Texas week after week after week.
Next week, they got the big one against Oklahoma, and that's definitely a circle game. People like to play in that look-ahead spot. I'd like to ask somebody there in a younger generation, because these are some old school, angles where look ahead. But I like to get the new school angle here. These guys talking about look ahead spots. Nowadays all games are on TV. It's like what are your thoughts there on these old school angles that we hear about?
Hey, I'm gonna say that is one game that it might hold true because that game is like it's a big deal. The State Fair Texas opened up today here in Dallas, so the vibes are in the air, and that's going to be a clash. I think Oklahoma was really underrated coming into this season, and they you can kind of see it in their scoreboard. They kind of didn't take a liking to that, so huge game next week, Texas OU.
Jerry's World. This game's played every year now. Texas A&M and Arkansas. We know we know what you feel about Texas A&M, but the Aggies are favored here, 6 on the road. I thought the Arkansas showed some pretty good offense there against LSU.
Yeah, Arkansas has been a little disappointing coming into the season. This may be their spot to garner some respect back early. KJ Jefferson, there was a lot of hype around this guy coming into the year, saying maybe the best quarterback in the SEC. He hasn't really lived up to that quite yet. Big game there. We know A&M likes to fall flat on their face when they get an opportunity, so got to keep an eye out on that one.
All right, James Clark and Jay knocking heads here. West Virginia going into TCU. TCU, a big favorite here, 13. They got the offense. West Virginia. A lot of folks think outside of their home stadium, they're going to have a difficult time.
I'm interested to hear what James has to say about this game in a little bit. You got to ask him about it. I think West Virginia plus the points may be a good place to play. We've seen TCU look good in certain games, but that Colorado game happened. That loss happened, and I would say West Virginia's offense is going to be able to score right there along with them. So it's going to be an interesting game to see if TCU has enough firepower to try to pull away.
All right, we got to talk about your boys here. It's a good one. Patriots at the Cowboys. This is one of the marquee matchups on Sunday. There's only 3 late games, and this one seems to be a pretty good one here. We look at the Cowboys here. Open 7. We're seeing some 6s and 6.5. So the sharpest book in the world keeps it at 7. A lot of the other books are 6, 6.5 in this one.
Yeah, Mac Jones in this road underdog spot is absolutely terrible. I think they're walking into a buzzsaw here in this one. The Dallas Cowboys, everybody saw it. So I have a power ranking, and coming into last week, I had the Cowboys number 1 in that power ranking. I had the Arizona Cardinals 32. So the Cardinals end up winning it outright. I dropped the Cowboys 5 spots, and I bumped up the Arizona Cardinals. But with that being said, that was probably as embarrassing of a loss as you can have. With that being said, they've had to face all that criticism this week. I think they come in, lock in, focus. I think that don't overreact too much to that last week's win. I think they're more the team we saw in the first 2 weeks defensively. I think they caused Mac Jones some real problems in this game. I think the Cowboys win and probably win dominantly here at home.
There you go.
Well, I think they've won now like 12 straight or 11 straight games at home. It's kind of crazy how well they've been at home. I think they dominate the Pats.
Yeah, dominate that. They've been really good. The Cowboys here, you like them in those divisional games. That was one thing that Dirt did pretty well, was beat the division.
Yeah. We definitely have beat up on the division recently. We know the record versus the Giants. We never lose to the Giants. The Commanders always, we should beat up on the Commanders more than we do, but they're always, like the little brother that really want to stick it to it because they're never that good. And then the Eagles right now are the thorn in our side. I think a lot of people forget last year we split 1-1 with the Eagles. I know they went to the Super Bowl. We didn't. We split 1-1. And in both those games, both games that the team lost, their starting quarterback didn't play. So I'm interested in Jalen Hurts this year because we didn't get it last year.
That's right. Interesting there. All right. So Jay on record here with Blue Jays tonight, minus 127. Note the pitcher jam to Kikuchi. Ryu might have been some on the overnight. Ryu goes tomorrow here against the Rays, 7 Eastern time. All right. Jay, let's take a look over at Pick Dodge for tonight's action. A lot of baseball, a lot of college football on the board. Head into a huge weekend in college football, NBA. We're going to close out the regular season for Major League Baseball. What do you have going on over at Pick Dodge Premium?
Yes, sir. I have Major League Baseball on the card tonight. I got a money-making 3-pack you guys can scoop up. Having a decent week in Major League Baseball. Last night wasn't our best night. We had a win that didn't go through with the Money Marlins, and then the Rangers gave it up late. But Other than that, on the play of the day in Major League Baseball, we've hit 7 of our last 9. So we've been seeing the board really well. You can scoop up the play of the day, or you can hop on long term, like Tony said. We got college football tomorrow, NFL this weekend. A lot going on, man. Hop on. Pair me up 2-for-1 capper special over at Pick Dogs Premium.
That's right, guys. Go over Jay Briggs over at Pick Dogs Premium. Of course, doing great work over on the site, so get on board. A very popular package here on the weekend is that 3-day pass. You get all of Jay's premium plays for 3 days. Includes all his NFL, college football, Major League Baseball here. A great way to roll. Use the promo code PICK at checkout. Save that 15% off. Right, Jay, as always, great having you on the show. Have yourself a great evening and weekend. We'll catch up with you here on the drive-thru on Monday, but you got a lot going on. You host the weekend shows, and we can catch that NFL rundown as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The rundown will be dropping tomorrow evening, so be on the lookout for that. And then, like you said, I'll be hosting the weekend shows, bringing in all the guys tomorrow. So can't wait for that. Talk some college football, maybe a little baseball, because we got some really meaningful baseball over the weekend. So be on the lookout for all that talk here on the weekend. And then you can catch me Monday through Friday with Mitch and Chris as well.
That's
on
right.
The morning show.
That's right, guys. We catch up. Chris and Mitch morning show here as well. And of course, you want to tune in on the weekends. Lots going on now. That weekend shows now. You moved up that time, right?
Yeah. So Saturday we moved it up half an hour. So make sure you guys get up a little early because the college games start an hour earlier. So just trying to get you guys in and out before the game start. Get your bets in. And then Sunday's regular schedule program.
Regular schedule. You got it there from Jay. All right, Jay, have a great night, great weekend. We'll catch up with you again next week.
Yes, sir, Tony T, man. I'll see you on Monday, my guy.
You got it. Jay Briggs here on the drive-thru. Let's continue here on the show. Up next, let's bring him in, Javon Burtz. Catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. We'll get Javon ready to roll here with some college football coverage for tonight. We got 4 games, some really good games up on the board tonight. So I think we'll be ready to roll here with Javon here in just a second here as we get his graphic ready to go here. Javon, what's happening?
Hey, what's going on, Tony? How are you?
I'm doing great. All right, here we go. Pac-12, high-profile game. These are 2 pretty good teams going head-to-head here. Utah is hitting the road here to face Oregon State. We see Oregon State here favored 4.5. We see that total at 43.
Yeah, man. Throughout the week, this line's been going up. And hey, ain't at a different number, but I'm still gonna roll with these boys out of Corvallis. These Oregon State Beavers, they took one on the chin last week, up in Washington State. So, given that fact, this is a good spot for them going up against a Utah Utes team who knows if Cam Rogers is going to play. Is he going to play? Is he not going to play? Nate Johnson is ready to play in his stead. And they're just looking like a real pedestrian offense right now. And I think even if Cam Rising is the play, I don't, with his rustiness, it's gonna translate into a better play from that offense. Now the defense gets it done. Now both of these defenses gets it done. So I think it's gonna be a slugfest for the majority of this game. But when you go in Corvallis, expect to lose. So with that said, I think Utah is going to fall from the ranks of the unbeaten, and Oregon State's going to win and cover.
All right, there we go from Javon here. We're going to go here in this one with Oregon State here laying the points. Yeah, we've seen the line move here to 4.5 in this one. And, of course, obviously, as we talked about, the big situation here is that quarterback situation, right? We're not sure the status here of Rising. Even if he's played, he's been out a long time, and he's coming off a pretty serious injury, as you guys might know, an ACL tear that he had in that Rose Bowl game. So that's a pretty serious injury to try to come back from.
Yeah, absolutely. And given the time frame of when it happened, the Rose Bowl, early January, yeah, of course he's not going to be back in time. He's, rushing it. I mean, you've seen mutants like Adrian Peterson come back like that, but not everyone's a mutant like him. You know what I mean? From back in the day. So, I think that this isn't the spot for him to come back, in my opinion. That was my anticipation. So, they did what they're supposed to do as far as not having Cam Rising on the field. They're 4-0, but I think they could drop one, in this tough Pacific Pac-12.
Yeah, don't forget also Utah's lead back Jackson still questionable and their tight end questionable. So there's a couple playmakers still showing that questionable tag. Utah doesn't give out a lot of information on in injuries. I mean, it's really hard to get that information out of them. And one thing, Javon, that is fresh in my memory is when Utah went on the road and faced a pretty good passing offense last year in UCLA. They got torched.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that. But what did they do the week after that?
Good question. I don't remember what they did the week after that.
You don't remember what they did after that?
No.
Let's look it up.
Yeah, look it up. I just remember they went on the road. They faced the Bruins in the Rose Bowl, and DTR just ripped them apart. They faced a pretty good offensive team there, and they had Cameron Ramsey there on the field there. So. And I'm not really referencing this year's UCLA team because this year's UCLA team is nowhere near that quality because you got a freshman quarterback.
Nowhere near it.
Yeah, so I'm just referencing the fact that they went on the road and faced a pretty good passing team, and they're finding one here against Oregon State.
Hey, I bring that up just to say, look ahead spots. So in case they lose today, let's just say that, right?
Yeah, right.
Who are they playing in the next week? So when you said they lost to UCLA, what did they do the next week? From what I remember, they went on a little tear. But we're gonna look it up, live if I can get this thing working.
Yeah, because I remember they went in that Rose Bowl game, afternoon game, and they really put up a lot of yardage, got a huge lead. Now, Utah made it a little close at the end, but it was all UCLA in that game. And we're looking at a situation where Utah is going on the road to face this a good offensive team, a good Ugalele, and these, we're just seeing everything come together this year in the Pac-12. Too late. Right. Because next year they can go back to the way they were before. Once these quarterbacks exit, it could easily go back to the way it used to be. So I don't have a lot of hope for these programs going forward.
So they lost at UCLA 42-32, but then they came back the next week and faced good old UCLA. I'm not UCLA, USC.
Oh yeah, that game.
43-44. 43-42.
Yeah, the 2-point conversion game. Yeah, UCLA, USC went for the 2, right? And they missed it. Would have won.
Yeah. So, that was at that point, both teams were ranked in the Utah was number 10, USC was number 12. Then the week, then they just, I think they ran through the rest of the Pac-12 after that. Just ripped and roared. Faced USC again. And then beat them in the conference championship, and then lost to Penn State.
Yep, they did. So with certain teams, expect them to lose one, drop one. It's just a matter of when are they gonna lose. So Utah, they have a tendency of dropping one around late September, early October, somewhere around then, and then they rip through the rest of the season, So I picked this spot for them. Yeah, and also
this is going to be a better one team.
Yeah, and this team is not. Actually, that doesn't matter the division anymore, right? They don't play. The division leaders don't play each other. It's basically formulated at the end of the season, so the divisions are meaningless now. As far as determining the Pac-12 title game. So interesting to note there, not important. But still, Utah facing a difficult task here with quarterback issues. And, of course, their lead running back, Jackson, questionable. Their tight end, Kuthi, questionable. Of course, that guy could be important to the running game, could also be important to the quarterback situation. So Oregon State on their playmakers, all healthy. So we got a health advantage here for Oregon State in this one. Low total there, 43. That's a pretty low total. Any thoughts there when you see it there? A Pac-12 game like this with the featured Oregon State 43 at home.
Yeah, I really don't like to deal with Pac-12 unders. To tell you the truth, you have two good defensive teams, so I believe the odds makers set it low like that just for that purpose. But I do like to take unders when there's high totals. Somewhere at least in the 50, 56, 57, 58 range. Where you got two supposedly high-powered offensive teams, and then you just got to anticipate that things aren't going to be clicking on that particular night. Especially when you're facing it's two teams that are high powered, and then the totals inflated. 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, somewhere around that. You know what I'm saying? There's a couple games that's like that. That might be an unexpected under. If you know what I mean, for the Pac-12 this weekend. So keep an eye out. Don't think that these teams is gonna rip and roar every week.
Yep, no doubt about that. All right, here we go, Javon. Here at Oregon State, we're seeing 4.5s in the marketplace right now in a lot of places. So get your shop, get the best numbers. There are some 4s as well. And one of the popular offshore books still is hanging a 4. The sharpest book in Vegas is hanging a 4. So there's still some sharp. The sharps are split here. I will tell you the sharps are split between Utah and Oregon State because I'm seeing 4.5s in sharp books and 4s in sharp books. So the sharps are split in this game. So obviously go out there and shop, get the best number. You can find the 4 if you do your shopping. This one will have a start time 9 p.m. Eastern time over on FS1. All right, Javon, let's take a look over at Pick Dog for tonight's action. Of course, it is a lot of college football today. We got a full board. Actually, we only have 14 games from baseball. We do have a rain out from that Mets and Phillies. They'll play a doubleheader tomorrow. A huge weekend coming up in college football, NFL. What do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Yeah, for tonight, I only got one play. My Take Flight Friday college football fire starter. Just one play, just a little appetizer for what's going to go on tomorrow. At least 12 plays. I haven't really decided whether I'm going to go any more than 12, but it's going to be at least 12 plays. And then, once you hit tonight, why don't you jump on that Saturday package, or just, matter of fact, go to the 3-day, 7-day, 30-day, yearly. The 3-day gets you tonight, Saturday, NFL football, and then depending on how you, when you buy it, you might get the Monday night game too. So, I've been on a little streak right now, getting a little bit hot. 4 straight winning days, looking to make it 5, and then go into the weekend and run roughshod over the books. So you can also match me up with one of the other handicaps for the 2-for-1 Capital Promotional. It's all here at Sports Chat Place and Pick Dogs. Let's get it.
Let's get it, guys. Got a board. Javon Burns over at Pick Dogs. We're running hot right now, so get on board. Remember, the long-term passes, a lot of folks like that 3-day pass here on the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, part of Monday. Promo code PICK at checkout, save that 50% off. All right, Javon, as always, great having you on the show. Continue that great success. We'll catch up with you again next week. But I know you also frequent those weekend shows as well.
Oh, yeah, and I'll definitely be on there tomorrow and Sunday.
Got it. Javon and Jay tomorrow. Check them out. All right, Javon, have a great weekend. We'll catch up with you again next week.
Absolutely. Have a great Friday. Win. See you on Monday.
See you on Monday. Javon Burt's here on The Drive Thru. Let's continue on up next. Let's bring in Brian Bittler. You'll catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. He's got baseball coverage for you from one of the contender games. Brian, what's happening?
Tell you what, great to be with you here, Tony T, on a Friday night, getting ready to do some square dancing later, trying to pick up my spirits. This has been a terrible month of September for me, but hey, good news is Sunday is October the 1st, and I'm ready to turn the turn the page and get into a new month. That's
right, new month coming up here. Of course, it's going to be a busy month as we're into the baseball playoffs, NBA on the 24th, hockey on the 10th. So things will start to heat up here in the sports world here as we're looking forward here to the cuts coming up here. A lot of college football and NFL as well. But here's one. This is a contenders battle. It's interleague. Who would have thought, right? Who would have thought the schedule makers got it right?
Who would have thought that at the beginning?
On an interleague where we got meaningful baseball interleague here. And we have a lot of interleague this weekend as well. Astros and Diamondbacks going head-to-head with no pitching change in this game. Diamondbacks laying -119, total 9.5.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, big-time baseball game tonight in Arizona with the Diamondbacks hosting the Houston Astros here. And you could be rest assured, I think the bandwagon guys are going to be all over the Houston Astros. But let's face it, this Astros team has been struggling a little bit down the stretch. Losers of 6 of their last 10 games. I think they're just outmatched, at least on the pitching mound tonight. One of my favorite pitchers in baseball, Zach Gallen, going for the Arizona Diamondbacks. He's been solid all season long, a 3.49 ERA. 1.11 whip and a nice strikeout to walk ratio of 213 to 46. Jose Urquidy goes for the Astros, and originally it was going to be JP, but I think we're even looking better now with Arizona Diamondbacks with Urquidy on the mound. I think he's been getting hit pretty much all season long. Has close to a 6 ERA, 5.84, a 1.49 WHIP, and just 43 to 22 strikeout to walk. I think this Arizona team knows this is the game they got to have, and even at minus 130, I don't think that juice is too high here. I'm going to take the Arizona Diamondbacks on the money line tonight.
All right, there we go. Here with Brian says, let's go ahead and take the Diamondbacks here at minus 126, minus 119. Do your line shop. This is the sharpest book in the world, which is going to give you the best lines. But you guys do your line shop. And yeah, interesting pitching move. But again, maybe there was no specific reasons why that they made the move here. But I'm just going to think Dusty Baker seeing why do I want a good starter against Gallen? Let me go. The Diamondbacks. There's a big drop off from Gallen. I know Kelly is in there, but man, there's a huge drop off with Gallen and the rest of that rotation from Arizona.
Yeah, I figure not that they're going to give this game away, but hey, if you give JP an extra day of rest, a young pitcher like that, tomorrow's game definitely more winnable because Zach Gallen, one of the best pitchers in baseball. So you got to pick your spots, and you got to win these games down the stretch. So I think they were shooting more for tomorrow, and I think the Diamondbacks tonight's the right play.
And remember, Houston and Texas.
If he can go 7 innings tonight, because that Diamondbacks bullpen, Astros are one of the best, maybe the best bullpen in baseball. I know they're right near the top. So I think it all has to do with the bullpen. If we can get 7 innings out of Gallen, I think
it's must. Yeah, must, because we saw the bullpen blow up in that Yankee game, right? That was a bad loss there before as well. But yeah, Urquidy has really not gone deep. They don't trust him. So this is almost like an opener situation where he might go 3 or 4, then turn it over to the bullpen. They probably don't want these D-backs to see Urquidy too much in tonight's start. But, Gallen, there's a lot of trends here favoring Gallen. I mean, one of the big ones is his record at home in night games this year. Team record behind Gallen at home, 11-0. Past 7 games, D-backs averaging 6.5 runs a game, hitting .274. Gallen, 23-7 against high strikeout teams that strike out 7 or more times per game. There's just a lot of trends here facing on Gallen's side. So you can understand here the pitching move. Let's give ourselves a better chance to win Saturday, Sunday.
100%. And Zach Gallen's not a pitcher you want to face in the playoffs, but thankfully, Arizona Diamondbacks don't have a lot of great starting pitching, maybe 2 really top-notch starting pitchers. And after that, there's definitely a major drop-off.
There we go. Brian here on the D-backs. Lay the money. Look at it. Came down. We're getting Astros money from 18 to 19 of the sharpest book in the world. So someone's laying down laying down some Astros. I don't get it, Brian.
I could have sworn when I looked about 15 minutes ago it was at minus 130 or so. So
yeah,
maybe I was looking at the wrong spot.
No, it was pretty high up there. So it's interesting to see that there's, again, this is early money, guys. So let's see when we get closer to game time. That's when the players come to play, right before starting. But yep, we're seeing that minus 118 tick here. And let's look at some of the other sharp books. The sharpest book in Vegas, minus 118. All the offshore books here have brought it down a little bit. Probably playing the plus price on, you're getting the Astros at a plus price in a big game. I think there are still believers. This is the defending world champion.
Yeah, and Astros are normally a team that's bet a little heavier. Not as high as a team like the Dodgers, or the Atlanta Braves, but the Astros definitely get nightly bettors for sure.
That's right. All right, here we go. D-backs laying the chalk here against, not a lot of chalk, probably very small chalk here against Astros. Big game tonight, 9:40 Eastern time. All right, Brian, let's take a look over at Pick Dodge Print for tonight's action. Of course, we've got a lot of baseball on the board. 14-game card tonight with that rain out. Also, 4 from football. Huge football weekend coming up. Great results in baseball this year. What do you have going on over at Pick Dodge Premium?
Well, tonight I got 3 premium plays highlighted by my titanium play in college football. You can pick that up for $15 at pickdogs.com. You can also get my Square Dance and 3-pack. It has all 3 premium picks. So I have 2 college football and 1 WNBA as we have 2 big playoff games today. And then Saturday I'll have 5 premium plays and Sunday at least 3. So definitely a good time to jump on board because if anybody's due for a hot streak, it's me coming off a really bad September so far.
That's right, guys. Get on board with Brian Piller over at Pick Dodge Premium. Good results here in Major League Baseball, as you can see there. Titanium wages, but we know what you guys buy here on Friday. You get those 3-day passes, right? You get all the action from the weekend from Brian. Football, NFL, college football, baseball here. And we'll get some of Mondays. We got to have some Monday stuff in Sunday night. So, guys, get on board with that 3-day pass. Pick it's a promo code. You'll save 15% off at checkout. Multi-capper promotions, saving you even more money. All right, Brian, as always, great having the show. continue that great success. If we don't catch you on the weekend shows, we'll catch up with you again next week.
Well, I'll definitely be on Sunday, catching the guys up with Jay tomorrow. I got some plans going on, man. And then Monday, I'll see you to start another week on the drive-thru. But definitely fun to see you, and I'm going to go head out, do some square dancing tonight, hopefully start a hot streak.
Hopefully start a hot streak indeed. Brian, any thoughts here? Real quick before I let you run, any thoughts here on some of the NFL this weekend?
Oh, one of the games that off the top of my head, I think I heard you talking about earlier, Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills. I think that line really jumps out to you because of how dominant the Miami Dolphins have looked. I think the Buffalo Bills will be out to prove that they're still the big dog in the AFC East, and I wouldn't be afraid to lay that number with the Buffalo this weekend. And also the Dallas Cowboys, when I heard Jay said he had him as number one. I'm not an Eagles fan, but it's pretty hard to – I mean, the Eagles are a pretty solid team up and down the roster. So I think the Eagles and Cowboys are definitely going to
that's a big number against Commanders. That's a big number against Commanders, right?
Yeah.
That's a huge number. Last I saw was 9. Is it still 9? Yeah, 9.5 at home against Commanders.
Yeah, I kind of like the Commanders, but see, the Eagles have been getting me all year. You go against them and I get crushed. So
short week against divisional foe here in this spot. Short week. Commanders coming off the loss, but the Commanders got them last year, so we'll see how that rolls.
Yeah, the Eagles are kind of team that beat the Commanders by a field goal, so that's how the Eagles roll against the Commanders.
Yeah, that'll be a tough one. All right, Brian. Of course, you got that quick quarterback, first-year starter in there. We'll see how that rolls. All right, Brian, have a great weekend. We'll catch up with you again next week.
Always have a good time, Tony. You have a profitable weekend, and I'll catch you on Monday.
Hey, John, Monday indeed. Brian Bittler here on the drive. So let's continue on here on the show. Guys, if you ever miss a pick, we do a recap at the end of the show. Stay tuned for that. Let's continue on. Let's bring him in right now. James Clark, you'll catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Let's bring him in right now. He's bought into the Big 12, so we'll get him in right now. I think we're all set to roll here with James Clark. What's going on, James? What's happening?
Not much, Tony. How you doing, buddy?
Doing great. All right. We're going to have to say West Virginia is now Big 12 territory, so he's fitting in with the conference. All right, but tonight we're going to the ACC tonight, right? We're going to look at the ACC conference between Louisville and NC State. This line has been bouncing back and forth between 3.5. Louisville, a road favorite here of 3. We see the total 56.5.
If y'all remember last week, last Friday, I was on Louisville, gave them out then against Virginia Tech, and I like him again tonight, guys. 3.5. It don't matter. If you look at this Louisville team, man, they're putting up almost 500 yards per game, 43 points per game. And you look at NC State, their defense, they're giving up 300-some yards a game, passing and throwing. It's 300 yards total. And I just think their defense is in a world of hurt against this Louisville team. Now, I know NC State, the only loss that they have is against the ranked team in Notre Dame, which, has to say something. They have been playing really good football, too. But I think they're running into a buzzsaw here with Louisville. I think Louisville marches up and down the field, does what they want, and I think they win by a touchdown or more. I really like Louisville. Their offense, I don't see in-state's defense stopping them, and I think it's a pretty easy win for Louisville tonight.
All right, James says take Louisville. You can find 3s out there. So this line is moving back and forth. I get people obviously value shopping. They see value in the hook there. I don't. I'm with you here on Louisville. And the thing here that got me that last week, that that backup quarterback, that freshman quarterback, Virginia, did not look very good. And I don't know how the heck he was making plays against his NC State defense. He did not look good. And one thing with NC State, I know you're talking about the yards, but something I look at with NC State and defensively is they're giving up big plays in the passing game. They're giving up nearly 14 yards per completion, 8.1 yards per pass attempt. They're giving up big plays.
Yes, they are. And, at Louisville, they like the big play. Either, the running back's going to hit you, Jordan going to hit you for a long run, or they're going to hit you in the air for a big pass. This Louisville team is built to score, and I look for them to score a lot. Like I said, they're putting up 43 points. I think it's ranked 19th in the nation right now, 43 points, and I think they keep rolling tonight against NC State.
Yeah, I can't argue that one. Louisville laying 3.5 here against NC State. All right, James, when we're talking to Jay about this one, Jay's out there in TCU land. You're out there in West Virginia. So it's the battle here. I don't know if they're going to play every year now. Now they expanded this Big 12. But anyway, we're seeing a TCU here now up to 13.5 from a 14. So there's been some West Virginia money coming in. We're seeing some 13s and 14s. Although the sharpest book in the world keeps it at 14. Everybody else is now in the 13s. How do you see this one?
Not just, I'm a big fan. Y'all don't know I'm a big fan of WU, but not just being as a big fan, but just looking at the capper. I think West Virginia can play bully ball against TCU. Have you seen lately, if we hand the ball off, our quarterback, he's struggling passing the ball. We wish we had Green, a lot better passer, but I think we can play bully ball and just keep handing the C.J. Donaldson and run it. You seen what our defense has been doing, guys. They've been flying around the field. I think we can hold TCU down as long as Neil Brown stays with the running game. I know we had a couple bad interceptions last week, but a couple of them really wasn't a quarterback spot. It hit the guys in the hands, and just a bad tip went the other way. But I think West Virginia can keep this close, 13, 14. I can see TCU win them. Touchdown, 10 points. I think I really like WU with the number here. If it gets any lower than 10, I'd probably go TCU, but I don't see it getting no lower than 13, what it is now.
Yeah, that's a pretty number there, 13.5. I don't see it going much lower than that, although the sharpest book in the world won't take it off 14. It opened 10.5, and the big money's come on TCU. Just for reference here, the opener 10.5, lots of money coming on TCU, and the sharpest book in the world will not bring it down below 14. So they're taking a stance there. They're liking that. They could be TCU and blow. But of course, James says take the points. That's how he looks at it. But for tonight's game, Louisville laying 3.5 against NC State. This one begins here top of the hour over on ESPN. All right, James, let's take a look over at Pick Dodgeman for tonight's action. Of course, we do have lots of baseball, 14-game card from baseball, 4 from college football, heading into a huge weekend. There's going to be lots going on here this weekend here in college. In college football as well as the NFL. We're closing out baseball's regular season. What do you have going on over at Pick Dodge Premium?
Guys, I got a 3-pack going on tonight. 2 college games that I really love. My best play in the MLB. As you see, guys, been red hot this year in the MLB. Looking to continue it tonight and on to the playoffs, guys. Can't wait for the playoffs to start. But I'm looking to go 3-0 tonight, guys. If I go 3-0, I'd break it 3-7 or 30 days, guys. Or I have a playoff package put up for the MLB here the next day or so right before it starts. Check it out. Like I said, you see the numbers I've been doing in MLB. Also, plus 600 right now in college football. So I'll have at least 5 or 6 plays tomorrow. Have them up. So, get that 3-day right now. As we all been talking, the 3 days your best, the best thing to hop on. You'll get tomorrow, you'll get the NFL, and then you'll even get the Monday night games. A lot of us get our plays in before, so you'll get the Monday night games. But guys, like I said, another thing I do every time I'm on the show, I always say we got the best cappers in the world, and we do by far. I don't just say that to be saying it. I really truly believe it. So if you want to team me up with any of the cappers you see on the site, or on the show tonight, or on the site, we'll put some money in your pockets.
That's right, guys. Get on board with James Clark over at Pick Dodge. You see almost 2,000 units of profit in baseball. It's a good time to get on board with James. He has action up there on the board tonight with baseball 3-pack winners. But again, here we're on a Friday. You guys know it. You guys like those 3-packs, and then you renew the longer term on Monday. So that's how you roll here on weekends. 3-day pass. Great to roll all the baseball, all the NFL and college football, of course, with that 3-day pass. And way to roll here. Pick is a promo code. Save that 15% off. James has been on red hot right now in baseball. We're going to close out the regular season strong, get you ready for the postseason. All right, James, as always, great having your show. Continue that great success, and we'll catch up with you again next week.
All right, Tony. Also, I got to say something, too, about Jay having Dallas ranked him. I am an Eagles fan, and, man, I don't see nobody stopping that run game. I mean, we've been playing bully ball. Nobody can stop us on the run. If somebody don't stop us in the trenches, I don't see too many teams beating us. And I know you were talking about the Commanders earlier too. Usually Commanders are kryptonite, but I got to lay a big number with the Eagles just because they're going to have to stop us in the trenches. Nobody can stop a running game. we see what weapons he got on the outside. It's going to be hard to beat us, guys. But thanks for having me on the show, Tony. That's just my little input.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll see you Monday, buddy.
Well, see you Monday. James Clark here on the drive-through. He's bought into the Big 12. All right, let's continue on here on the drive-through. Let's welcome in here right now Nick Mencken. You'll catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Boy, we've got him on a game tonight, and the Milwaukee might have dropped him a little life here with a pitching change, but maybe those things don't always work out. Let's bring him in right now. Nick Mencken, catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium, but I don't think that these are two rivals going head-to-head. Nick, what's happening?
Tony T, it's good to be back, and boy, being a diehard Chicago sports fan, it will take years off your life, to say the least, right now.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, this has been something going on. It all started when they went into Colorado. And Colorado's been a really good home dog, and from there it's been ugly. It's just, and of course, remember, these are wild card teams. These aren't division top champions. And remember, we expand the playoffs, and this is what happens, right? They're playing like pretty much average teams. What average teams do? They win, lose, win. They go through these spells. But tonight, the Cubs have a shot here to go on the road here against the Brewers. I don't want to say shot. They got Ray on the mound, so that was a little bit of good news, but still, you're still Cubs fan. You're still nervous. Hendricks on the hill. We see the Brewers still favored here, minus 107, total 8.5.
The Chicago Cubs have absolutely been crumbling in front of our eyes, and to be a Chicago Cubs fan, it absolutely hurts. Right now, the Brewers obviously clinched the NL Central, and last week the Cubs were in the wild card. Looking a week forward here, we're on the outside looking in. We're a half a game back from that Miami Marlins team in the NL wildcard spot. The Marlins do have that head-to-head over the Chicago Cubs. And just being a Cubs fan, this past series, we were up in games 1 and 2 against the Atlanta Braves. And in game 1, you saw Suzuki miss a routine pop-up in right field. Then he got in game 2, Nico Horner in the bottom of the 7th, routine ground ball for a double play, overthrows Dansby Swanson at second base, opens the floodgates for the Atlanta Braves team, and the Atlanta Braves just put the Cubs away. It's an absolute must-win game and series for the Chicago Cubs. There's no room for any error. The Cubs are coming in 4-6 in their last 10 games. Like I said, just getting swept off the Atlanta Braves. Blew 2 games. I'm still a little pissed off about that one. But we got Kyle Hendricks, the professor, on the mound. He's 6-8 this season. He's 3.66 ERA. There's a reason why we call him the professor. It's for games like this, games that absolutely matter. Right now for this Cubs, you got to win. And Kyle Hendricks is the guy usually to put him in that right step. I like him on the mound. Woodruff was supposed to go in tonight's game for the Milwaukee Brewers, but Colin Ray will get the start for the Milwaukee Brewers. He's 6-6 with a 4.74 ERA. If I had to guess, these Milwaukee Brewers are content right now. They're seeing the Cubs a half game back out of that wild card, and I'm thinking they're resting their guys. I think it's, I think we could get good value here on the Cubs. Like I said, it's a must-win absolute game for these guys, and you got Kyle Hendricks on the mound right now. I like the value in the money line, even though we're playing in Milwaukee, but I think there will be a lot of Cubs fans there in Milwaukee today, and the Cubs will get the job done.
All right, we got yes, right. They do travel. The Cubs. This is a rival. They like to travel, not very far there. I don't know if you ever make the drive there to see the Cubbies play. That you have, yeah. That's a very popular destination there. Having guess with the Superstation, we're able to watch a lot of Cubs out here, even in Southern California, because of that station. But yeah, Burns and Woodruff have been shut down until the postseason, which makes sense because these guys log in. Well, I think one of them coming off an injury, and of course they've logged some innings. But again, the Brewers have, as a division title champion, they're going to have to play in the wild card round next week, and there isn't a whole lot of time off. So the Brewers are pretty much shutting down their top line starters in this series, and we'll see what they do in the bullpen.
Yeah, I think it's a smart move, definitely for the Milwaukee Brewers. Pulling Woodruff, he's obviously came back off an injury. He's 5-1 after that injury. He's looking great, but you don't want to push him too much. This game doesn't matter to the Milwaukee Brewers. It matters tenfold to the Chicago Cubs. But they're confident in their abilities with that offense that they got going on. So might as well rest their starting pitchers and save them for that postseason.
And also, too, all eyes will be on that. Pittsburgh could be a spoiler. They have been pretty good at home and in home dog situation. I know you're going to be scoreboard watching a lot, but Pittsburgh has a chance of winning 2 of 3 in this series. I'm not saying Miami's going in there and sweep, but Pittsburgh has actually shown some improvement in my eyes.
It's a lot to ask for, Tony. That's for sure. We're saying hopefully the Pittsburgh Pirates could take 2 from the Miami Marlins, but Marlins have been playing well. They still got to win too. They know where they're at in this race. It's going to be a good series. I'm hoping as a diehard Cubs fan that the Pirates absolutely play fantastic, sweep them, and hopefully the Cubs could get in. But it's not looking good for my Chicago Cubs right now.
Yeah, and of course we saw Garrett get wiped out in New York here. So Miami's no great shakes either. So their pitching staff's been kind of impacted there with Alcantara getting hurt. And we'll see how that rolls. And we saw Garrett in his last outing get pounded. So, again, some of these young pitchers could be hitting the wall. But like I said, watch these Pirates. They could be spoilers here in this series. Would not surprise me. They actually, they just hit it. Looks like they're hitting a double play. They had runners on first and second. So, just as I say that, they just screw up. All right, Nick here on the Cubs at even money against the Brewers here. And this one here will have a start time here of 8 Eastern time. All right, Nick, let's take a look over at Pick.com for tonight's action. Of course, Nick showing profit over the last 7 days. A lot of baseball, a lot of college football, and heading into a huge weekend as we get ready for the playoffs next week in baseball. What do you have going on over at Pick.com Premium?
Yeah, we've been hot right now. We are 6-1 in our last 7 plays, 4-0 little run in the NFL. So make sure to check out that 3-day pass. We got a lot of college football coming on. I have my MLB lock of the day starting up here in about an hour, and then I also have my 3-pack. It's got 2 college football plays along with my MLB lock in that package as well. Hop on a 3-day pass. It's going to be a lot of games this weekend, and I'm pretty excited for this slate's NFL. I think we got some good games we could take advantage of. So hop on something long term and let's cash in.
That's right, cash in here with Nick Micken over at Pick.com. Good results the last 7 days, so get on board with Nick's. Got plays up there for you right now on the board. A 3-pack, or again, what you guys like to do here on the weekends, get that 3-pack. All of Nick's premium plays here Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You got the remainder of the regular season from baseball, college football, NFL, and we got to get plays in early on for Monday, so you get some of the Monday action as well. So get on board. Remember the promo code PICK at checkout will save you that 15% off. All right, Nick, as always, great having you show. Continue that success. We'll catch up with you again next week. Of course, we can also catch your video series on Pick Dogs.
Yep, still rolling with the Nerfy and Yerfies. Had an absolute fantastic 3-week run. I think we only had 1 losing day in that run. So check out the Nerfies. We're going to hit them hard for the playoffs as well. And also Friday or Saturday nights, I release Anytime Touchdown every Saturday for the NFL for games on Sunday and Monday. So make sure to check those out as well.
That's right, guys. Check them out there right on the channel. Like, subscribe, set notifications so when Nick releases his video series, you get the plays right away to get the best numbers. All right, have a great weekend, Nick. We'll catch up with you again next week.
All right, Tony. Happy Friday. Thanks for having me.
You as well. Nick Micken here on the drive through. Let's continue on. Guys, if you ever miss a pick, we'll recap here at the end of the show. Stay tuned for that. Let's continue on here on the drive through. Get to my pick, and then we will get to the recap here and get you guys ready for the weekend. All right, let's continue on here, and let me get my game card. It's a very familiar tone here with my pick. You guys heard me talk about this for much of the baseball season. Why stop now, right? Especially in this situation where the Twins have really nothing to play for. You got a young pitcher, Joe Ryan, experiencing Colorado for the first time. And you know where I'm heading? You guys have followed me all season with this, right? We're going to take the home dog angle here with the Rockies, right? Why stop now? It's been profitable. Again, especially here, I know that the Twins are a division champion. I give them that, but I don't put them in the same. Quality level as your Dodgers, as your Braves, and even Philadelphia, who's not a division winner, but they play like one. I will pick and choose situations. Of course, the young pitcher, first time going into Colorado. You got the young pitcher in Ryan going in here. These guys never experienced this, so it's another angle in my pocket here with them. And I know. Block has not been any great shakes, but then again, it's Colorado. Okay, so Twins. That's also too. Make note here on this Twins team. When the Twins have faced losing teams, minus 15 units. minus 15 units against losing teams. So if you clinch your division, nothing to play for. Here come the Rockies. Okay, what are we going to see? Rockies against winning teams at home, 21-19 in their past 40, and of course that's a plus 14 unit return. So we'll continue to ride this home dog with the Rockies. It's been money. So that's kind of why stop now, especially in this spot, right, where you've got the Rockies in their final home stand, and they do have a loyal fan base. I will say that they have a really good fan base there in Colorado. The fans come out. It's a really good festive atmosphere there, and they like to play for the home crowd. And the home crowd cheers for them. Let me tell you, there have been a lot of bad Rocky teams, but the fans still show up and they still cheer for this team. I will say that. So I will give them that. So we'll take the Rockies at this big plus price here, plus 168. And of course, you'll find that over at one of the books right now. All right, tonight over at Pick Dogs Premium, guys, I have a best bet right now. My college football best bet on the board right now, going off in a few minutes. Get on board with that. Also, I have a Contenders baseball single play up there right now. So get on board. You can also get long-term with me with a 3, 7, or 30 sports pass. Get all my premium plays for that time period to select. When you go to my handicapper page, make that purchase. I am number one documented right now at Pick Dogs right now in college football. So I do have a college football best bet up there right now. So why don't you get ahead and get signed up for a long-term pass right now. All right, let's continue on here on the drive-through. And let's get to the recap of the games, and we'll let you guys go for the weekend. All right, we'll get started here. Jay was on the Blue Jays, minus 127 against the Rays. Javon like Oregon State, laying the 4 against Utah. Brian on the D-backs, minus 126 against the Astros. James likes Louisville, lay the 3 in the hook against NC State. Though you can find 3s in that game as well. Nick on the Cubs, even money against the Brewers. I'll be here on the Rockies at that big plus price, plus 168 against the Twins. Let's go with Jovan here on that Oregon State game here, laying the 4 against Utah. Utah with quarterback issues. And again, we've referenced that UCLA game when Utah went in there, faced a pretty good passing attack, and got blitzed in that game. And of course, that'll do it for this edition here of the Drive Thru. Guys, make sure you guys tune in again Monday here on the Drive Thru, live here at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll do it all over again. We'll bring in our cappers from Pig Dogs and Sports Chat Place to cover their plays in real time for here on the show. Don't forget, it always gets started here with that morning show. Now on the weekends here, Saturday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, we got, of course, Jay. We got Jay and the crew out there giving out free plays for you here on the morning show. Of course, we got Mitch's 7 picks in 5 minutes. His betting tool show, his roundtable discussions with the professionals. Also in action is Ron Romanelli's rundown from college football and Major League Baseball. Jay has an NFL rundown. Chris with his plays as well, because we get Chris's home run props. And of course, looking forward to that in the playoffs next week as well. And of course, Rod Zawacki will debut soon with his NHL plays on the when NHL season starts here on the 10th. We're just about a week and a half away from the start of NHL. Also on the channel, you can also get Wayne Scott with his boxing video series. Of course, the big Canelo fight, he's got that covered, so check it out right now on the channel. Mills with his UFC MMA rundown from not UFC, but he has an MMA rundown this week. Also his prop videos. Of course, Brad Francis with his parlay videos has more and more video content here on the channel. All right, that's going to do it for the show. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us. Got through another week. Let's bring in our crew from night. We're going to wave goodbye to guys. You guys have a great afternoon, evening, and we'll catch up.